Hello students, now let us see mesh analysis helps us to solve complex electrical networks. The figure shows you a complex electrical networks. So here we are having in electrical circuits we are having two techniques or two analysis, mesh analysis and nodal analysis. This mesh analysis uses KVL, and in mesh analysis we are going to find currents, mesh currents. So before going to the mesh analysis, let us see some terms related to mesh analysis. Already we have seen these terms in a separate video, that is loop and mesh. A loop is nothing but it is a closed path. We have a separate video for branch, node, loop and mesh. Just go to that video, you will get complete idea about loop, node, branch and mesh. So what is the definition of a loop? It is a closed path with no node passed more than once. So simply we can say that a loop is nothing but it is a closed path. A mesh is a loop that does not contain any other loop within it. So mesh analysis is only applicable to a circuit that is planar. So mesh analysis is applicable for planar circuits only. What is a planar circuit? A planar circuit is one that can be drawn in a plane with no branches crossing one another. And what is a non-planar? A non-planar circuit is one that can be drawn in a plane with branches crossing one another. So a planar is nothing but it is a two-dimensional. Non-planar is more than two-dimensional. So for planar and non-planar also we have a separate video on planar and non-planar. Just go through that video. You'll get a clear idea about planar and non-planar. So before starting mesh analysis, you need to go through two videos, that is branch, node, loop, mesh and planar and non-planar circuit. So these are all some examples of planar and non-planar circuits. The first, this one and this one comes under planar and this is your non-planar circuit. Let us see what is a mesh analysis. Already we have mesh is nothing but it is also a closed loop which does not contain any other loops. And we have one statement also. All, that is of all meshes are loops, but all loops are not meshes. Mesh analysis. Let us learn a mesh analysis to a planar circuits that do not contain current sources. So in mesh analysis we are going to see three cases. That is, case one is a mesh with voltage sources, a mesh with voltage source and current source, a mesh with current source between the two meshes. That is of a circuit with voltage sources, a circuit with current and voltage source, and the third case is a circuit with a current source between the two meshes. These three cases we are going to find. So in mesh analysis of a circuit with n meshes, we take the following three steps. So what we are going to do in mesh analysis? If a circuit contains n meshes, we have to assign that meshes with mesh currents. If it is having n meshes, we need to assign with n currents, I1, I2, I3 to I1, In. After specifying with n meshes, then we have to apply KVL to each of the n meshes and use Ohm's law to express the voltages in terms of the mesh currents. Solve resultant simultaneous equations to get mesh current. So our ultimate intention in mesh analysis is of finding the mesh currents I1, I2, I3. So let us take one example. So this is a circuit. Consider a circuit shown below with two meshes. So this is a mesh, this is a loop also. This is a mesh, this is a loop also. So a loop is nothing but, a mesh is nothing but which does not contain any other loops. So this is called as first mesh and this is called as second mesh. While coming to the loop, this is a loop 1, this is loop 2 and this becomes loop 3. Loop 3 and loop 1, this is loop 2 and this totally it is loop 3. But while coming to the meshes, this is a mesh 1 and this is a mesh 2 and this is which includes this 2 it is not a mesh. So already we have seen the definition. A mesh is nothing but which should not include any other closed path. So if I consider this third loop, it is including first and second loops. So all here we have taken two meshes and three loops. So we can give a clear conclusion that all meshes are loops because this mesh is a loop, this mesh is a loop, but all loops are not meshes. So according to what we have to do is, after getting the circuit, we have to specify currents. We have to specify current like this. Here already specified in the circuit. We have to specify current in clockwise direction. We have to specify in a mesh. We have to specify current in clockwise direction. Here already a current is specified in clockwise direction and we have given the current value with I1 and current value with I2. Like this we have to specify the current in clockwise direction. First and foremost thing is we have to specify the current in clockwise direction and we need to assign I1, I2, I3 dash dash with respect to the number of meshes. So after this we have to apply KVL. We have to apply KVL to this mesh. By applying KVL, what is a KVL? Already we have seen KVL. So KVL is nothing but the total voltages within the loop must be equal to 0. So by applying to apply a KVL, just see the arrow direction. This arrow is moving towards negative polarity of the voltage. So write here minus V1. So in some books you will find another notation, but ultimately the result will be same. So here I have taken one notation that the current direction. Here the specified current direction is it is pointing to negative terminal of the voltage source. So minus V1. Next, while coming here, it is pointing to I1 is pointing to, here it is I1. Next, now I1 comes here in the clockwise direction. So here the current I1 and this capital I1 and small I1 are in same direction. So the voltage drop across R1 becomes, with respect to the Ohm's law, here I can write I1 into R1. Here I can write I1 into R1. Here only one current is flowing, that is I1. Here one current is flowing, I2. Next, in this loop, this is a mesh. This is first mesh and this is your second mesh. In this mesh, we are having one more resistor, that is R3. This R3 is common to first mesh and second mesh. And current flowing in this mesh is I3. Let us compare the direction. The small I1, this is the direction of your small I1. If I take the clockwise direction of your I1, so it flows like this. So it flows like this. So this I1 and I3 are in same direction. So the voltage drop across R3 becomes current flowing through the R3. That is I3 is current flowing. So I3 is current flowing and the respective resistance is R3. Simple, over, which is equal to 0. This is your number 1 equation. Nothing we have done. Just we have specified, we have identified number of meshes and we have noted or we have drawn a clockwise direction. We have specified a current I1 in clockwise direction and we have applied KVL. Minus V1 plus I1 R1 plus I3 R3 equal to 0. Next, let us apply KVL to this loop. Let us take here. This is your current direction of your I2. So it is moving like this. It is moving like this. It is moving like this. So let us see. This is the direction over here. This is the direction over here. What is the direction of I2 with respect to capital I2? Same direction. So what will be the voltage drop here? I2, capital I2 into R2. Next, what is the direction of this I2, whether it is moving towards the positive terminal of the voltage source or negative? It is towards positive terminal. So write here plus V2. Got my point? It is plus V2. Next, already in this second mesh we are having two independent elements and one common element. Already we have applied KVL here and KVL here. That is the Ohm's law. And let us come to this common branch R3. To the R3, I3 current is flowing, but this I3 is in opposite direction to I2. So minus I3 into R3 minus I3 into R3, which is equal to 0. This is your equation number 2. And the last thing, one more thing we have to do here, it is we have to apply KCL. How we have to apply KCL? So this small I1 is nothing but, so if I close this circuit, like let us consider this one. This small I1, can I consider this small I1 with capital I1? So small I1 is nothing but current flowing in the circuit. So whatever the current which is generated from the V1, that flows through R1. So here I1 is nothing but I can consider I1 is equal to small I1. I1 is nothing but small I1. Next, here I2. This is not a common branch. That's why, so whatever the loop current, whatever the mesh current that flows through the independent branch, this is the independent branch. This is also independent branch. This is a common branch. In the common branches, both mesh current flows, but in the independent branches, only the respective mesh current flows. This is of R1 is independent branch. So whatever the mesh current, the same amount of current flows. That's why here we have taken I1 equal to small I1. Now tell me, while coming to the R2, here the current I2 is flowing. Whether this I2 is, whether R2 is it is a common branch or independent branch. It is an independent branch which is related to your second mesh. In the second mesh, the current flowing is small I2. So we can consider this small I2 with capital I2 is equal to small I2. Now Let us apply KCL at this point. Let us apply KCL at this point. I3 is coming out, I2 is coming out. So entering current is equal to, by applying KCL at this point, I1 is equal to, I can write I1 is equal to I2 plus I3. Any doubt till this point? I think no doubt. So I1 is entering current, I2 and I3 are the leaving currents. But what is I1? I can consider I1 equal to small I1 and I2 is small I2 and plus I3. So here I can write I3 is nothing but, here I can write I3 is equal to, can I write I3 equal to I1 minus I2? Yes. So here I am writing I3 is equal to I1 minus I2. So this is your, by applying KCL at node, we got I3 equal to I1 minus I2. Nothing we are doing, just we are replacing given values, given currents with our mesh currents. Here we have applied KVL to two meshes. Why we have applied to only to the two meshes? Because we are having only two meshes only. So if n meshes, then we require to apply n KVLs. In this circuit we are having only two meshes. That's why we have applied two KVLs and we have applied KCL at node to convert the given currents into the mesh currents. Now this is your equation number 1. Here you are having I1. Just replace this capital I1 with small I1 and I3 with I1 minus I2. And here capital I2 with small I2 and I3 with I1 minus I2. It means that here you will get equation in terms of small I1 and I2, equation in terms of small I1 and I2. Here you will get two equations with two unknown variables. By solving that two equations, you will get I1 and I2. Let us see, already it is solved. Just see, already we have seen by applying KVL in mesh 1, we got minus V1, I1 R1 plus I3 R3 equal to 0. And applying here this capital, this is your capital I3 only, this is. Applying KCL at node B, already we got I3 equal to I1 minus I2. Substituting 2 in 1, you get V1 equal to R1 plus R3 into I1 minus R3 into I2. Applying KVL in mesh 2, already we have seen. So here you will get, by applying 2 in 1, here you got equation number 2, Roman letter. So by solving that equation number 1 and equation number 2, two unknowns can be obtained, small I1 and small I2. Moreover, I3 can also be obtained, which is a difference of 2, that is I1 and I2. Hence, two mesh circuit currents are calculated when voltage sources and resistance values are given using steps of mesh analysis. If I know the value of voltage source and current, that is of resistance, then it is possible to find I1 and I2. In case of three meshes in a circuit, there are three equations and we can use Cramer's rule to solve three linear equations. If it is of two linear equations, it is no problem, we can easily find. But if it is of more than two linear equations, then for finding easily the unknown variable value, that is of current, we take the help of Cramer's rule. What is Cramer's rule and this is your first case, because here we don't have, in the circuit we are having only voltage sources only. We left with two more cases in mesh analysis. We'll see that cases in the next class and some problems in the next class. Thank you.